Hey everybody! It's the first poem of the week of 2021. Thanks for being with us. A new time, moving into prime time. I have no idea how many people will be watching today because we're at a new time. The poem of the week. We are listening to Pete Weiss and the Weistronauts. Thanks, Pete, for letting me use your music. We are coming to you live from Highland Park, New Jersey, flying into the Jim Alberti Theater. Hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for being here. Yes, I mentioned this is the Jim Alberti Theater, and I think I'm going to start off with some news about that. You know, back in Thanksgiving, I got the opportunity, I told you about this, that he was my mentor in both college and stage lighting and in performing. We and I both quit stage lighting the same exact year, and he went on to form a flea circus, and he has been my mentor for 30 years. And I had thought that he died about a year ago, but I found out from a friend of mine, a clown in Australia, that he was alive and living in Winston-Salem, and I told y'all about that. And on Thanksgiving Day, I got to tell you about the debut of the Jim Alberti Theater. And I was going to talk to him again on New Year's Eve. Get to show him. It's going to be a Zoom call. And my friends, he died very suddenly of COVID. Which is why, if you would like to support this broadcast, I don't want you to support me. I'd much prefer you to support his family, because as you know, vaudeville does not exactly make a whole lot of money. And my friends, his family could use it to pay his final expenses. Tam the Monkey at Venmo is where I'm asking support to go for. And also my birthday is coming up on January the 16th, and I've turned my birthday into a fundraiser for Jim and his family. Thank you so much for gathering around. I know everybody wants to talk about the events of the past couple of days, particularly on January 6th, but you know, I don't want to add to the noise out there. I want to celebrate the fact that we are doing a new poem, a new season, a new year. I do want to take note, though, that January 6th is the 12th day of Christmas, better known as the Epiphany. And I think it's really relevant that what all went down at the Capitol on the 6th happened on the Epiphany, because it seemed to be a bridge too far for our current president. And so many people have lost support. They had an epiphany on the Epiphany. So with that being said, you guys up for a story? Say it out loud. Say, tell me a story, Chandler. This seems appropriate for the new year. The poem of the week. Magellan proved Copernicus right by circumnavigating the globe. Someday, somebody's going to prove that Einstein was right. But in order to do that, we're going to have to learn a whole lot more about infinity. Einstein maintained that the universe is round, that eventually every straight line in the universe will intersect upon itself. Now, if you think about that, the possibilities are staggering. I mean, doesn't it naturally follow that Sean Hannity and Donald Trump will eventually admit that they are secretly attracted to one another, and that they'll move to Mar-a-Lago and admit that they've always been Episcopalian? You know, there are computers out there that do nothing except try to count to infinity. You read about it in the paper. But computers, now they count in base 2. We count in base 10 because we have 10 fingers. Now, I'm not making this up. The Mayans, they counted in base 20 because they didn't wear any shoes. Did you ever notice that the Count in Sesame Street only had 4 fingers? I always thought he should be counting in base 8. Left me confused. I learned to count in base 11 because I had my hands in my pocket. But in the end, there are 10 types of people in this world. Those that know binary and those that don't. Usually only about 11 and 10,000 people get that joke. But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. Now, the Bible had a little run-in with infinity that seems to confirm this notion. I mean, weren't the architects working on the Tower of Babel trying to reach the infinite? Shouldn't the subcontractors have realized the problem with that? Or maybe they did reach the infinite, and that's exactly why it fell. You get too close to heaven, and poof, you're back to zero. You get too close to heaven, and you find yourself speaking Spanish in a Chi-Chi's in Dubuque, Iowa, trying to order the Pollo Guadalajara and having a waitress in a polyester uniform say, "You want that with beef or chicken?" As for me, I went for years thinking Taco Bell was the Mexican phone company. But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. So I should be able to tell the banks, I am not $487 overdrawn. I have nearly $500 more than infinity. You might not be buying it, but I am convinced that Donald Trump has been convincing accountants of that for years. So I figure I should be able to have my loan approved for a new Cadillac, and I can simply back my way into the two-car garage of heaven. Only once I get there, I find that Satan has his SUV parked on the other side. It's a Ford Explorer with Firestone tires and a bumper sticker that reads, "This machine kills fascists." But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. So if I sit around all day and try to count my blessings, will I one day discover that I have none? It seems like human beings are always trying to reach perfection. Throughout human history, some invention comes along that changes us forever. The wheel, the printing press, the lazy boy. Civilization has changed forever until we only have vague stories of what life was like before them. Hey, Grandpa, could you tell us what life was like before Iraq became the 53rd state? Civilizations do expand, or they get expanded upon. It's manifest destiny. But one man's destiny is another man's chapter 11. Or chapter 3 in base 2. But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. And my friends, the world is round. And remember, here in 2021, the very first poem of the week, that this is not a race. And if it were a race, whoever is in first place is slightly behind the guy in last. And maybe if we would remember that in this new year, and we would see that the kingdom of heaven is spread out before us. And if we don't see that, there will be no here, there will be no heaven, for there will be no here forever. Thank you so much for gathering around for the poem of the week. We will see you now every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And the Mighty Monthly News will always be on the first Friday